We are now going to look at PowerShell. PowerShell is another option that is popular to use alongside of SSIS. Its language is different than C#, but we will certainly see some similarities. Let's take a look. In SSIS, I have turned off the execute process task used for the C# app and turned on an execute process task used for PowerShell. Now, these are the same task, it's just that they've been configured differently. In the C#, under the process tab, I point to my executable that I made myself. In the PowerShell one, I point to an executable that Microsoft has made. It is the PowerShell executable. Under the arguments, I tell it that I want to run the particular file by script file. Now, of course, I have to have a script file. To create that, I'll go to my Start menu and type in ISE for Integrated Script Environment. When that opens, I can start writing my code. I previously created my code, so it's just a matter of opening up the one I've previously created. The code looks very much like we saw in the C# app, which starts off declaring 3 variables, one to reference the string to my data file, source data file, the other one's for invalid and valid data files. You notice that the variables are the same, but there's a $sign in front of them. There's also no semicolons at the end, although they are optional in this language, so I can put them if I wish. The string is the same string we've used previously, and then on line 8 and 9, I go through and make a new stream writer, just like we did in the C# application. Unlike the C# application, I'm using a for each loop. It's just simpler, but I could use a while loop here as well. The code gets the content of my source data file and then loops through it automatically, placing each row of data into my variable line, string line. I then validate whether or not there's a match from string line to the regular expression. If it does match, it'll return true, at which point I just write into the console window, we'll see that in a second, that the email valid was, and I also write to that file that we made on line 8. If invalid, I write to the file that we made on line 9. When I'm all done, I close the connection to those files. So, if I go back over here and I delete the invalid and valid email data files, I can go ahead and run this script, and you'll see that it brings them back. It also prints in the console window the contents of my script. I've created this execute process task already, but the argument is pointing to my data to process folder for that script to be in. I've included for my organization and convenience in this folder right here called PowerShell scripts that I made. This is just a virtual folder, which means that I can open up the solution in File Explorer, locate that file, copy it, and place it on my hard drive and the location I want. Now, this package should be configured correctly. Run that task, make the staging tables, and load the email data into the staging tables. Once again, to test this, I will clear out the tables. And now run the package. You can see that it ran the script, and when I come back to Management Studio, excuse me, I can see my data. PowerShell has become a very popular choice for writing ETL code and other automation systems. The choice is nice because it has a relaxed syntax. You don't have to declare the data types of the variables. You can optionally use semicolons, and you don't need curly braces. This is extremely similar to the way things are done in Python. The big difference is that Python can run on many operating systems, but PowerShell is built right into the Windows operating system. Either choice, though, can do amazing things. And while it can't do everything the EXE can do, it can do most everything that they can. As such, it makes a very viable option for doing ETL processing. And as you can see, it can easily be used in conjunction with SSIS.